and gentlemen, welcome back once again to an episode of Shadowtalk. My name is Bull, and this week we're going to be talking GenCon. So, as of just about a week and a half ago, I was not planning on going to GenCon. Which was a shame because I have been to every GenCon since 1996 now at this point. So missing GenCon would have been a big disappointment on my part. But it was one I was prepared for because, unfortunately, there's just been a lot of stuff going on this past year, and I did not think that it was going to be something I could do due to a fair number of issues. However, thanks to a number of friends stepping up to the plate and helping me out a bit, GenCon has become much more doable. First off, Big thanks out to Ray Regal and Bob Bulldrek, our Catalyst demo team lead agents for GenCon, who stepped up and were able to find me someplace to work at the last minute. Because one of the only ways I could do GenCon this year was if I worked the show. Because working for Catalyst, putting in enough hours gives me room and badge. And those are major expenses. And a badge costs $100. Room for the weekend, will run me anywhere from $150 all the way up to, $1,000, depending on if I'm splitting the room with multiple people and what type of room I get and all of that. So that's great. I'm really glad that I was able to get in with them. I will be working for Catalyst Game Labs once again, of course, and it sounds like I'm going to end up being in the booth again this year doing demos of something. I'm not entirely sure what. Kind of hoping it's the Shadowrun Encounters, the Shadowrun dice game, because that's a lot of fun. There was a pre-release of it at Origins, and a buddy of mine picked up a copy, and we've played that a couple of times now up at the local game shop. And it's quick, it's fun, and it's really a neat little game. So I'm hoping maybe that'll be what I do, but we'll see. I'm game for whatever, So that's pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to that. So if you are at the show and want to stop in and say hi, I'll be at the Catalyst Game Labs booth more than likely. Stop in, say hi, maybe sit down and demo a game. All right, so that was a big issue. Second issue was travel. GenCon is I can drive to GenCon. It is a day trip, although it does take a bit of time. It is about 300-ish miles one way, give or take. And unfortunately, my big van gets really terrible gas mileage. So it means if I took the big van, it costs an arm and a leg to get down there. On top of that, the big van's just not very reliable right now. It hasn't been for a while. I would not trust that trip in my full-size van because it really is on its last legs, as I've noted before. We've got a minivan now, and it gets better gas mileage. Still not amazing, but it gets better gas mileage than the big van does. But unfortunately, I do the taxi thing as a day job, driving the Amish taxi, as I've talked about in the past. But my sister and my mom also drive. And we kind of share vehicles pretty often, depending on, the situation with what kind of shape the vehicles are currently in. And unfortunately, my sister's vehicle has been down for quite some time. They're having trouble getting it fixed and up and running. And Mom's Suburban is currently running like crap. So unfortunately, I can't. Even if the big van was in good shape, I can't steal either of the vehicles for a week to drive down to GenCon. So that would not have been feasible. But fortunately for me, Ron Rummel, who he's one of our Catalyst demo team agents. He lives over in Pennsylvania, just maybe an hour and a half away from here. And he graciously volunteered to come over and pick me up and drive down to GenCon from here. So I've got a ride lined up, which will be a great help. So thank you, Ron. You rock, and helped made GenCon possible. And then one of the other big issues for me is mobility. my knees are shot. I've got arthritis in both of my knees, and it is impossible for me to stand or walk for more than a minute or so. Which makes Gen Con or any convention, heck, it even makes going to the store nearly impossible for me unless I could find some other means of mobility. Now, I do have a wheelchair. Unfortunately, I don't use the wheelchair very often because I don't need to. The downside to that means that, unfortunately, I haven't built up the muscles in my arms that I really need to wheel myself around well. So I'm not really used to using the wheelchair. I have it for emergencies and stuff, but... and on top of that, wheeling around on carpeting, which large portions of the convention hall are carpeted, that gets to be it's difficult. I would, basically need somebody to be with me to help push me around or something like that if I was going to take the wheelchair. Especially because the hotel that we're at this year is basically it's a couple of blocks plus from the hotel to the convention hall every day. So getting back and forth would be time-consuming, problematic, and exhausting. It would be doable, and it was an option for me, but it was not a prime option. It would have made things a lot harder. However, fortunately, I have a couple of friends who stepped up to help out there as well. Because the last few years when I've done the conventions, what I ended up doing was renting a mobility scooter. One of those little carts. And yes, I end up being one of those assholes. But, unfortunately, you have to do what you have to do. And I'll be honest, I was really weird about it the first year, but after that, you may look like a big dork riding around in one of those, but, trust me, don't judge anybody riding one of those things. Because you don't know their situation, and those carts make the convention so much easier. Like I said, with my legs, I can't walk. I could do it with the wheelchair, but having a scooter means that I'm actually independent. It means I don't have to rely on anybody else. It means I'm not going to be slowing anybody else down, because that's the other big problem is, with a wheelchair, I would probably be a lot slower moving than anybody else. So that means anybody I'm traveling with would have to slow down for me, and it would take longer to get anywhere we're going. So with the scooter, I can zip around, and I can keep up with everybody else. It's fantastic. I'm not in pain all weekend, which is an amazing thing. So I need to send a big, huge thanks out to Opti of the Neo Anarchist podcast, and I will put a link to that podcast in the description below because, actually, I'll probably put a little thingy right up in here. I'll put a little link. But Opti does the Neo Anarchist podcast, and he is a fantastic guy, and he rallied a couple of people to help procure me a scooter for the weekend. So besides Opti, there was also Jules Watts and Joel DePippa. So huge thanks out to you guys. I really appreciate it. You guys made my year, to be honest, because missing Gen Con really had me bummed because I've made every Gen Con since, like I said, 96. So missing this convention would have been a really sucky thing. It would have really it's been a terrible year overall. I've had a lot of bad going on, and this would have just kind of, been more of it. So I'm really glad I'm going to get to go. I'm really glad that I'm going to get to see a lot of friends that I only see at the convention. So that'll be awesome. I was really bummed about not getting to see some of them this year. Plus, there's going to be some new guys. Some of our newer freelancers and some other friends that I've made online will be there for the first time. Or were friends for the first time that'll be there. So it'll be really nice to meet some of these folks in person. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really glad I'm getting to go. And like I said, I'm absolutely floored at the amount of help everybody gave me. So it's amazing, and I didn't expect it. And thank you very much, guys and girls. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Gen Con. I think it'll be a blast. And I'm excited. It'll be great. Like I said, I'm not probably going to get to do a whole lot of gaming, and I'm not going to get to do any shopping, so I'm kind of not even looking at new releases or anything like that. But I will be hanging out with friends. I'll be hitting the Shadowrun Scotch Squad meetings, and I will be demoing. So it'll be a lot of fun, and it should be good times. So yeah, if you're there, stop in and say hi. It'll be great. And if you're not there, I do apologize. I'm going to try to take some video and stuff from the convention floor. Get some video, some booths. I'm going to try to do some interviews with friends, kind of a little on the spot, Q&A typey things with some of the Shadowrun peeps. And yeah, just overall, I think it'll be a lot of fun, and it should be good times. And I should hopefully have some fun videos for you guys when I come back. Alright, so thanks a lot, guys. Like I said, stop in if you're there and say hi. Let me know that you've seen me on YouTube or you know me from wherever. That'd be awesome. So excellent. So as always, this video is made possible by the wonderful support of my Patreon backers. If you're interested in checking it out and seeing all the goodies that you get and helping support these videos, checking out some of the creative writing stuff that I do for my Patreon, please check the link in the description below. It's patreon.com/Bulldrek. And that is it for me. I probably won't have another Shadowtalk for quite some time. But it'll for a few weeks anyways. It'll be after GenCon. I'll have some after action reports and stuff. So we will see you then. Have a good one.